Hi, guys. This week, we're looking at our cultural obsession with busyness. We're all just desperately needing some downtime and some space. It's not going to be about changing the to-do list. It's going to be about the beliefs. Let's begin. Hi, I'm Kiran Trace. Welcome to Humans Decoded, a story of hobbits, fairies, elves, dwarfs, gnomes, and humans. If you get lost at any point, there is a deep dive on all the different avatars in episode 1. It includes notes. Thank you for joining us in a fun little chat about the vast potential of our human makeup. I'm here with Leela Sutter and Cami Carlow, and it's always such a joy to be together. And we hope that is felt by you guys out there, decoders.
Yeah, I couldn't have planned this episode better because we're going to talk about busy, and I'm actually in the middle of moving. So I have had plenty of opportunity to get really, really caught in the story that, oh my God, I have so much to do. And right now, I actually feel like I could cry. There's like so much overwhelm. I've had like lots of different sort of moving dates. And then I had shoots in London planned away. And in the middle, I got this like gargantuan migraine. So yeah, it's really, really easy when things are moving fast to kind of just get really caught in the story of me having to do everything.
And it's such a prevalent story, isn't it? It's so omnipresent. It feels like run by this program, or the program runs the whole world. And it's, as Cami is describing, it's so easy to get entranced and believe that that's true. Like, especially if there's a move coming up, if you have a lot in your schedule. And I find it especially entrancing when I'm around people like my mom who are extremely busy. Like they don't know anything else but busy.
Right? Because that's like the perfect setup to avoid the moment, right? Like, so long as your mom's kind of running the story, or like what Cam's saying, like the story's running, then any actual connection or intimacy with just right here, right now, is somehow justified, right? Like, I'm just too busy, 80% of that busy is the story of busy itself.
But it gets us because the moment is lava, as we sometimes say, meaning when you actually are present with what is, you're present with your shit. You're present with your pain. Like for my mom, the pain about her husband dying, for instance. And many of us, most of us, we're doing everything we can to avoid that, to avoid facing our stuff.
That's totally me today too, just to fess up. Like, I had a bad fall on the weekend and I kind of got a couple of relatively serious injuries. And I haven't been able to sleep properly. Like, I can't get my body in a comfortable position. So, but I think this speaks for a lot of us in the world, whether you're a new parent or a new job or a new move or pregnant or whatever, like we're physically uncomfortable, we're exhausted. These mental loops are running in their head about how incapable we are, or how overwhelming just living our modern life is. There's just, the potential there for like so much guilt, so much shame. I mean, and especially like somehow being a parent in today's culture means I signed up for like, it's okay to chronically and constantly worry. And, just every single one of us is just exhausted, like we're tired. Recently, I was listening to a Tim Ferriss interview. Tim Ferriss is a American. Well, I guess he was a startup as an investor, but he has a really popular podcast and blog, and he's kind of a master hacker, and he's got wonderful things to say. But recently he was interviewing this Vipassana leader, talking about using Vipassana as a way to stop. And those of you that may not know this term Vipassana, not that I'm any expert, and feel free to like acknowledge that I'm saying this all wrong if you're a Vipassana expert, but it's basically it's a practice of just like watch your breath, watch your mind, watch your thoughts. And a Vipassana retreat is like 7 days of like that.
All in silence, not speaking, not walking often, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. And
Torture.
it feels like just torture, right?
Yeah.
Like I honestly, personally, I can't imagine anything worse than it. Like 7 days of watching these thoughts looping. Like I would rather watch these funny cats or silly babies on Instagram because like same, right? I'm just sitting there watching. I think of Vipassana as like immersion therapy, right? Like the forced stop. And that's I'm never someone who's going to recommend inversion therapy or immersion therapy. Like I don't believe that the solution is by refacing, like by walking into the heart of the terror of it. There's such a better solution. Like there's this vast field right here. And I get it. Like if you have a deep belief system or a deep story that you cannot access the present moment, okay, go watch your mind for 7 days. But it's not actually true. The present moment is connected to you. It's right here. And there's an enormous support in it. There's this soft, warm presence. And the deeper in we go, there's this, expansive intelligence and clarity. And, authors like Eckhart Tolle and leaders like him are so good at articulating, like the presence of now, the power of now. And there's a reason that like, I think today it's like more than 25 million people have really read the book, got it, connected, done courses. Like that's a big number of people.
Mhm.
And all I think it means is like you or any of us decoders or, like you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if 25 million people can do it, you can do it. like there's this power here. Because without that, if we're not walking into the depth of this field, if we're not walking into the support there, then we're just doing it all in our own head.
Yeah, that's completely different to actually being present. And I feel like you can go into your head in a lot of ways. Like I have this one very dear friend, and whenever we meet, he's always just like, like the wheels have never stopped spinning. And so I end up feeling like he's just taking me off his to-do list. Like it's not a very pleasant experience at all to be with someone that's just not connected with the moment.
Yeah, it's so easy to get busy also with this notion of fixing busy. Like you go to the Vipassana to get out of your head, but you're just staring at what's going on in there. Or you read another book, or it's this thing of like another retreat, another workshop, another app. That's what's going to fix me. And yeah, everything is just still this play of get as far away from the moment as possible so I don't have to confront my stuff. And I mean, I think I've been one of these people who treated other people like a to-do for sure. Like in my previous...
I mean, he is an elf, so...
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like in my previous life, I had no time for nothing. I was just busy with work. But then, my partner at the time, he died of suicide, and that just brought me to a complete stop. I just dropped everything. And I mean, not voluntarily. I was kind of forced to stop because of the impact of that trauma or shock. And I started to work with Kiran, and somehow in my twisted mind, it was understood that, oh yeah, the solution is to have nothing on my plate, to have nothing in my calendar. Like just don't do anything. I'm busy with healing. And I don't mean that I don't know, I don't want to make fun of her back then, because she was busy with healing. But then this misunderstanding of the solution to it all is to just be in this sort of, I don't know, what is it? Just lingering somewhere in a pause forever? It's not true. And in the last couple of years, work, for instance, has picked up again. I have sometimes really crazy busy weeks or full weeks, but it's so delicious. It's so wonderful. It's so fulfilling to be used, to be fully utilized, as we sometimes say here. And the approach is just very different because it's not like the small little Leela self is doing it all. It's life doing the things.
Yeah, it's really tempting to feel like the solution to being busy is to delete everything off your schedule and just sit there, forcing yourself to just be.
So the holding the silence isn't the actual thing.
It's certainly not a solution.
No, it's not the solution. But the solution, at least for me, and I think for all of us, is more this seeing over and over and over again that even when it's busy, even when we move, even when we have weeks that are so full, it's like, I don't know how it all gets done. It's then when we can see that, oh yeah, it's life who is moving it all. And life, or the moment, that silence, the presence, it already has a movement in it or to it. It's like, I don't know, let's pick something very pragmatic, like breakfast, for instance. It has a beginning and it has an end that I'm not doing. It's the moment having breakfast beginning, breakfast end. And when it ends, it's so safe to let the next movement come up. And sometimes it's, oh, time for a session, or it's like, oh, time to record a podcast. Or yeah, it's just so simple when you actually are in the moment and not just holding it.
It's very different. Yeah, because if you're holding the moment, then it's like still you trying to get somewhere, because here apparently isn't it. Versus like listening to the moment. During COVID, I used to go on these walks every day. And over the months of doing that, I got to know the trees. I got to know the plants. And there was just such a joy in noticing like these really subtle but individual, unique changes. And I feel it's very much like listening to the moment. It's so subtle, but you get to know it. And then you hear that ping like, oh, breakfast. It's saying breakfast.
So oftentimes people would bring up, let's say, taxes or their responsibilities as an exception to this whole thing, as an exception to life moving it all. But it's still, even taxes is a movement of in life, a movement of the moment. And I had this experience the other day where I had breakfast ended, and then taxes showed up as the next movement. I was like, what? Are you sure you really want to do this? Like, yeah. And it was enjoyable. It was sweet to play with the papers and the numbers and, get to a certain point with it. But then I was done for the day. I left it. And then just today, I did the rest of it and it completed itself. So I had nothing to do with my taxes. It was very effortless and enjoyable.
I can think of a similar example that you would think would just live on your to-do list unless you were the one to get it done, because how in the hell would that be delicious? Mm-hmm. And that was cleaning my toilet. I remember this one time, like I just left it until it was delicious. And then the moment arrived, it was such a surprise. Like, really? Cleaning the toilet is like what's alive right now? And it was a total party. Like I ended up discovering these like sprays that cleaned amazingly. Like I had music on. And it was so bizarre that, the moment was wearing the costume of like toilet cleaning. But it was just so delicious and so alive. And that's what's available when kind of life picks it up, versus when you force it on yourself. Like if you're forcing it on yourself, then it's just a chore, it's a drag. But if you let life kind of sneak in and let it come up under you as a surprise, then it can be such a party.
Yeah. Yeah. You still have a to-do list, but the approach to the list is so different. It's that you don't actually do any of the list until the moment, like, effortlessly, brings you to it. Like a leaf will effortlessly fall from the tree. Like, there is this effortless flow to your day to day, brushing your teeth, taxes, breakfast, cleaning the toilet. Like, there actually is an organic flow to all of that. And it's not based on, well, the kids will be home at this time and my husband's at this time, so dinner should be this time. That's a whole forced movement. And instead, initiating everything internally from that deeper present moment and listening, which is available, the moment shows up for it.
It's so simple, isn't it? Ultimately.
Yeah. And I think all of you guys have had experience of that in your own lives. These like beautiful moments where it's just you found yourself just going for that walk or just scrubbing that toilet or just, like you've had it. The real trick is letting it, we always just want to ride over it. But when we actually do it, the bathroom's never been cleaner or the taxes have never been, you've never had such a good return or so effortless because life is blowing the momentum with you and it's giving it a depth and a breadth that doesn't happen when you execute it. So like I say, like life is the best executive decision maker because it has such depth and breadth. It's like being in the zone, which is a sports metaphor for just being really effective and really alive in the spontaneous culmination that everything just becomes excellence. But you can plan the zone. You listen to yourself, like Cami was saying, listening to the seasons. It's taking place at a more subtle level than in your head. And a little hack there is that you don't put something on your to-do list if it's not generally ever alive for you, ever. Like, for instance, I'm an elf. So it's never going to be delicious to take a full hour or 2 hours to get dressed or to do a fitting or to do a massage or even a hair appointment. No thanks. It takes me 15 minutes to get dressed. I want my hair appointment in and out in 30 minutes, So it's not on my list to book that 2-hour hair appointment or anything like that.
That's okay, Kieran. You can give me your 2-hour appointment because that's optimal for me.
Right. Okay. So Cami's list has this lovely 2-hour blackout for her, to get dressed or ready for an evening. Yeah.
Makeup, do my hair, change my outfit. That's like joy to me.
Paint your nails.
Right. So there's life for Cam, right? Mine is 15 minutes.
Yeah. When you're listening to life, when you're listening to the moment, and when that puts your to-do list, it gives you the ultimate, unique, most beautifully tailored for your needs, your authenticity, like your being's desire. Like it gives you room for that. So if I'm listening and it's like, what's delicious in my body? What's my to-do list? It's like, 2 hours to get ready. Num, num, num. But if I'm doing it from pain body, I'm going to give myself 20 minutes, which is stupid for me. And I can think of a lot of other really stupid and punishing things that I put on my to-do list because it's coming from this like doer, like, go, 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 you need to do. I would say when there's more than one of you listening to what's true in the moment, it's actually really fun. Like if you're in the company of someone who's available for that, there might be a moment where you just both hear it at the same time and there's no words exchanged, but you just know like, oh, it's breakfast. And it's like, it's just such a yummy exchange. Yeah. So it just really opens you up to receive better. So it means that you're not treating other people like a to-do list, like you're actually present when you do show up for them. And also it means that your to-do list is a lot less of a to-do list. It's actually just another kind of surprising moment that arises. And it comes with a lot more bonuses than if it came from effort.
You know, one of the best tips I can ever give a parent, and this totally will transform parenting, it's to make all the choices based on you, the parent's delicious yes. So if you're the mom's delicious yes is going to speak for the whole family, or dad's delicious yes speaks for the delicious yes too. So it's so radical, but the results are unbelievable. So whoever finds the delicious yes first, mom, dad, sometimes it's the kid, you speak for it, you know, and it speaks for the whole.
And if you want to try it for yourself, there's a free course, the 9-day challenge. We can link to it in the show notes.
There are, of course, there's nuances here. So, you know, do take the course, or take the course 2 times or 3 times. It's free. So just, you know, I want to say that it's super fun to take it. And the thing I hear a lot from people after they take it is that it was easy. It was effortless. But the challenge is that it's really hard to make the effortless choice. So, for example, this woman, every Sunday, she cleans the whole house. Does the deep clean. You see this on Instagram and stuff, but this woman who did it is the same. And, you know, she realized by taking the course, like, oh, it's not really alive for me. And she watched that actually it was alive for her husband. And she could invite her husband to take part of like cleaning the house more. And that really often her Sundays, it was more delicious to like get out the house and do a few other errands. But so she did it one time during the class, but then she could not do it a second time because she was so faced with like, but then I'm not contributing, you know, like my job is to do the deep clean. Like my husband makes more money than I do, or, but you know, so this is the piece I do, you know, like it was really difficult for her to actually choose life's option, you know, rather than her mind's story of her Sunday to-do list.
Yeah. I feel like that's like that place, that second time around, like I did it once and it was amazing, but second time is like, nah, that's too much commitment to the unknown. I feel like that is where the rubber hits the road. Because I feel like if you do just stay with the delicious choice, all this terror comes up that's been underneath, that you've been avoiding. But that's where the choice becomes a party, where the freedom is, because that's where the fulfillment is. You know, if that's where the wave is taking you, that's where the real win is, even if it's a big risk. And P.S., you can do it. It'll be a big win and a big risk, but the terror is still going to be there, probably.
We have a whole episode coming up on Delicious Yes, where we dive into it, just saying that here, so you're not wondering. And, you know, there's always this field of presence available, and you don't need to pause for it to be here. It just is. And you can simply go there, be there, and it's so much better than to hang out in the pain in the body or in the loops of the head. And it's so simple. Kiran would say, like all your life, you've been turning right when you get out of your house, and you've been crossing, I don't know, the swamp and the mountain and the glacier and blah, 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 blah. And then you arrive to your work. But you could just instead, you could go out of your house and turn left. And then there you are. There's your work. Here's presence. It's always been here. It always will be here. And you're never separate from it.
And just like we were saying, it's such good news because you don't have to unlearn turning right, the mountain, the forge, the stream. You don't have to actually unlearn all that. The effortlessness has its momentum, but it's just what Cami's saying. There's a terror, there's a risk, you know, like the solution to busyness is to stop figuring out in your head and listen to life moving it. But the terror and the risk to not turn right but to turn left is the thing. But as Cami is saying, right, like the risk is worth it, y'all. Like it's so worth it. And just like what Leela's saying, there is this deeper field. It's right here. It's not anywhere other than right here. And you can hear the moment come up. You hear it all the time. You just step over it.
All right, y'all. So next week, we share stories of how fantastic it is to risk the choice of following your delicious.
All right.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you for listening. We obviously love hearing what you think. Your feedback helps us make a better show for you to listen to. So feel free to comment, and you can do it at Facebook, which is the Humans Decoded podcast. And if you're not on social, you can always email any questions to us at outreach@kirantrace.com. And thanks for listening. We love you.